My sister Traci is the one who said to me, Toni, you know, when you make it, you can help us come on. So I always try to abide that. But the responsibility of it is so heavy for me. I feel I can never live my life, and I never used to say it. I never used to say anything to anybody, but since we've been doing this show, I've been saying it.
Y'all, ever since the Braxtons made their big comeback on our screens, it's been nonstop chaos. These sisters just cannot seem to get along. And now, there's a new twist popping up almost every single day. Word on the street is that Toni Braxton is over it. Like, completely done. She's been out here saying she's tired of holding everything together and that she's been carrying her whole family on her back for years.
13 or 14, my mom, she had a really bad accident. She fell. And her back was really messed up, so she was in hospital a long time. And so I was a surrogate parent for a moment.
Where was Dad?
Working, had to make a living, had 6 kids.
So what would it look like for you if it were different? If you didn't have that responsibility and if they weren't leaning on you, what would your life look like? What would you be doing?
Well, I would have soared higher.
You think so?
Absolutely.
Whew, this family drama is getting real. Let's be real. There's no denying Toni Braxton is the star of the Braxton family. With 7 Grammy Awards and over 70 million albums sold, she's not just the most successful Braxton, she's one of the most iconic R&B queens ever. Her journey started back in the late 80s, singing with her sisters as part of the Braxtons. But when she went solo, game over. Her debut album, Toni Braxton, dropped in 1993 and blew up instantly, skyrocketing to #1 on the Billboard 200 and selling 10 million copies. Hits like Breathe Again and Another Sad Love Song became classics, and with producers like Babyface and L.A. Reid behind her, she was unstoppable. And just when people thought she might slow down, she came back even harder with her next album, Secrets. That album gave us the timeless Unbreak My Heart, which alone sold 10 million copies worldwide. Iconic isn't even the word. In total, Toni has released 9 studio albums, with the latest in 2020, and pretty much all of them have done well. But behind the scenes, it wasn't all glitz and glam. Toni has opened up about how she had to financially support her whole family, especially early in her career. While her sisters weren't pulling their weight, Toni was out here paying the bills. Only Tamar stepped in to help a little. Everyone else, sitting back while Toni held it all together.
Me and Daddy's divorced, and a divorced mom pretty much got nothing. I'm not going to leave my mom by herself. So I'm going to make sure my mother's taken care of. None of my siblings have helped me take care of my mother to make sure she was okay, except for Tamar. No one said,
this is before Vince.
Before Vince. Mommy's car insurance is due. Let's help Toni with mommy car insurance. Or Tamar.
So basically, Toni was spilling some serious truth. Yeah, Tamar might be a whole handful, but she was actually helping out their mom way before she even made it big. Meanwhile, the other sisters, they had a totally different vibe. Their attitude was pretty much, well, Toni's got money, she can handle it. And that's what really got under Toni's skin. She was the one paying the bills, holding the family down, doing what had to be done. But then, here come Traci and Towanda, not only not helping, but turning around and asking to get paid just for working with her.
On top of that, when you do shows, you still charge her. I don't charge her. When the last time have I charged you for a show?
Tamar
It's been
hasn't charged you
years.
for a show for years. My sister Tamar never charges me to do background singing for me. My sister Traci does. My sister Towanda, she's an executive assistant. That makes sense for her to get a salary. I just wish every situation was not about Toni's savings and loans.
I have never charged Toni. And what I am saying is it pissed me off. When I saw that you and Towanda get paid, I was pissed off.
Meanwhile, Tamar, the only one pitching in financially, wasn't even asking for a single dime. That kind of loyalty hit different, and Toni definitely noticed. Okay, look, no one's saying Traci didn't deserve a check. She spent years doing backup vocals for Toni, and that's real work. Plus, she had herself and 2 kids to support, so anytime she was singing for Toni, that was time she could have been making money elsewhere. It makes sense she'd want to be compensated. But here's where the tension kicks in. Toni and Tamar felt like even with the money Traci was getting, she still wasn't stepping up financially. According to them, Toni was still the one covering everything, still the one playing the role of provider, while Traci was getting paid and not exactly contributing back.
It's okay. It's okay. I got you.
I don't want to talk about that,
But it's the truth.
So, yeah, Toni wasn't just singing her heart out. She was also carrying the weight of the family. And that imbalance, it's been bothering her for years. And you know what makes all of this even more heartbreaking? While Toni was out here being the family's main provider, she was quietly struggling with serious money problems of her own. Yeah, despite all the fame, all the hits, and generating over $170 million in record sales for her label, Toni Braxton had to file for bankruptcy more than once. Let that sink in. She was making her record label Arista millions. But Toni herself, she was earning less than 35 cents per album. That's barely anything. No wonder she took legal action. Toni ended up suing her label. And just 8 weeks after filing that lawsuit in 1998, she had to file for bankruptcy too. Later on, she revealed just how messed up the whole deal was. Due to the shady terms of her contract, Toni said she ended up with less than $2,000 in royalties, while still being held responsible for paying back the label for everything from clothes and travel to studio time and music videos. It was a total setup. Things got so bad that at one point, she was even accused of fraud. People claimed she transferred over $53,000 to her husband, Kerry Lewis, to hide it from creditors during her bankruptcy case. The whole situation was just devastating. And let's not forget that infamous sit-down with Oprah. Toni thought going on the show would finally give people a better understanding of her financial struggles, maybe even earn her a little sympathy. But instead, it turned into a humiliating, painful experience. Toni later said she felt like Oprah came across as judgmental, cold, and condescending. Instead of support, she felt shamed.
Please welcome Toni Braxton!
She was so freaking mean to me. I was in shock.
Do you take responsibility for the situation that you're in right now?
100%.
100%?
100%. I couldn't believe it because I loved her so much. I admired her and looked up to her. And she pretty much reprimanded me.
I read that you were upset about stories that your overspending caused this.
She says to me, I hear you have Gucci flatware. I'm Oprah Winfrey and I don't have Gucci flatware.
First of all, I didn't know Gucci made silverware.
You ain't got Gucci flatware because you didn't want to buy it. It's not because you couldn't afford it. What do you mean? And immediately, she made me feel this big. This big. That moment completely changed my career. It made people look down on me.
What was supposed to be a moment of clarity turned into something that left her feeling embarrassed and completely misunderstood. That interview didn't just hurt her pride, it left a mark on her emotionally, especially since she was already dealing with the stress of bankruptcy and the weight of supporting her family. And just when you thought the Oprah situation couldn't get worse, there were reports that Oprah purposely humiliated Toni on her show. Allegedly, Oprah didn't just act cold during the interview, she also tipped off Toni's record label about what was coming. According to a source, Toni had filed for bankruptcy right in the middle of a major contract negotiation. That didn't look good for LaFace Records, especially since Toni had already sold over 16 million records at that point. So what did Oprah reportedly do? She called up LaFace and said, "Toni's on my show today. She's about to make y'all look real bad. I think it's messed up. So tune in." Whether that's true or not, the damage was done. The interview came off as cold and unsupportive, and instead of helping Toni, it just deepened the public's judgment. And sadly, that wasn't the end of her financial struggles. In 2010, Toni filed for bankruptcy again. But this time, it wasn't about contracts or record labels. It was her health. She was diagnosed with microvascular angina and not long after, lupus.
Like a lot of people don't understand, my second bankruptcy was because I was sick. I have lupus, and my show in Vegas got canceled.
And the insurance wouldn't cover
The
it.
insurance didn't cover it, so I had to pay myself. And so
That's a lot. That was a lot of money.
It was a lot of money to put up a show. People don't understand this. If you see a concert, you see the lights, you see the band on stage, the artist pays for all that. The hotel rooms, the salary, so then you have nothing left over.
Two serious conditions that forced her to cancel her high-paying Las Vegas residency. So while everyone saw the glam, the Grammys, and the big hits, behind the scenes, Toni was battling on every front: career, money, health, and family. And just when it seemed like things couldn't get any more chaotic for Toni, the IRS came knocking in 2019. On December 4th, the government hit her with a federal tax lien for over $340,000 in unpaid taxes from 2017. And if that wasn't enough, just a few days later, The California Franchise Tax Board followed up with their own lien, demanding another $116,000 plus. In total, that's nearly $500,000 in back taxes. It's a lot, and the family still seems divided. But what do you think? Did they lean too hard on Toni for too long? Or is this just what happens when business, fame, and family all get tangled up? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Because, this Braxton saga is not for the faint of heart.